In today's modern society, millions of young people around the world believe in something called the law of attraction. They are told, just think positive thoughts. Just imagine your dream life in vivid detail. Just feel the emotions of already having what you want, and the universe will deliver it to you. Sounds nice, right? Hopeful, empowering. But there's a hidden flaw, a fatal flaw that can slowly destroy lives. The core idea behind the law of attraction is this: your mind is like a magnet. Whatever you think about consistently, your goals, your dreams, your emotions will be drawn into your life. Another popular version says, if you constantly send out beautiful, detailed, and powerful thoughts to the universe, they will influence your behavior, shape reality, and eventually bring you what you desire. It sounds convincing. It even sounds a bit spiritual, but is it really? In Buddhism, we call this era the age of Dharma decline, a time when true wisdom fades and humans begin creating their own philosophies, detached from deeper truths. Yes, many modern teachings sound logical on the surface, but when compared to the Dharma, the deep spiritual laws of karma, merit, and rebirth, they completely fall apart. Take this idea: the mind is a magnet that attracts what it imagines. It's missing something crucial. From the Buddhist perspective, it ignores the most important principle of all: seeds of action, or what we call sowing causes. Sitting and dreaming that a mansion, a luxury car, or status will just come to you without taking right action is not manifestation, it's just craving. In Buddhist terms, it's called attachment, desire, greed. You could sit for 30 years, visualizing abundance, imagining success, dreaming of joy. But without right effort, without sowing the seeds of action, nothing will come. If you don't even buy a lottery ticket, how can you win the lottery? You want a beautiful car, then you must sow the cause. Find work, serve others, create value. Even if it's a small job, it's still the beginning of energy exchange. Only when you contribute to the collective prosperity of society will you start receiving real rewards. The second major claim of the law of attraction is this: by vividly imagining what you want, you will influence your behavior and ultimately attract results. Sounds slightly more grounded. But again, it collapses when compared to reality and spiritual law. Let's test this idea. If a homeless person sits on the street imagining himself as a billionaire, will that alone make him one? If a reckless teenager wastes each night in parties, but visualizes success every morning, will he become the next business tycoon? The answer is no, because again, it misses the critical spiritual truth. Blessed fortune energy, your current life has a limited spiritual ceiling. Based on your accumulated karmic merit from past lives, you can imagine success and take action, but your results will only reach as far as your karmic account allows. The law of attraction doesn't speak about this. It doesn't warn you of limits, of your pre-written life trajectory. If you apply the law of attraction by visualizing good things, and then you take meaningful actions, you may find your life gradually improves. A beggar may find a job, earn a salary, rent a small room, support his children. That's realistic. That's growth within his karmic allowance. But to think he will become the president, the richest man in the world, just by thinking hard enough, that's fantasy. A woman selling 50 cupcakes daily might use visualization to gain clarity, motivation, and joy in her work. She may expand to sell to 100 cupcakes, maybe open a few small stands. Her life improves, her family thrives, that is reasonable. But to believe she can become the CEO of a global food empire just by imagining it, that's where belief turns into delusion. When we reincarnate into this life, up to 80 to 90% of our destiny is already set, prearranged based on our karma, our virtue, and our past deeds. Only 10 to 20% of our life is open to change based on our present-day thoughts, morality, and actions. That's why astrology, fate reading, and birth charts are often accurate, because most of our path is already written. But within that small open window, you still have power. Yes, destiny is real, but goodness and wisdom can surpass destiny. If you are born with a good fate, but do evil, your destiny will collapse. If you are born with a poor fate, but cultivate virtue and help others, your life will rise. Why? Because heaven values the good-hearted. So, should we believe in the law of attraction? Yes, but only when it is rooted in action. Only when it includes the law of sowing causes. Only when we understand that results must match the seeds we plant and the spiritual merit we've earned. Because even if you never get the dream life you imagined, you'll still live a life of meaning, dignity, and growth. That is real transformation, and that is what the universe truly respects.